Good morning, all of you. Here is Dr. Kamal Kishore Sharma with my co-host for the day, Dr. Sachin Sharma, joining us for an excellent session on Excel. Sachin.
Thank you very much, sir. Welcome you all to this wonderful session on Mini MBA in MS Excel. Let me introduce first. Dr. Kamal Kishore Sharma is MBA and fellow Ph.D. from IIM Ahmedabad. In a rich corporate career span, he has worked with public sectors, central government, multinational company, universities, startups, and NGOs. He started his career as management trainee, sale, and rose to MD and CEO at European MNC subsidiary. In the education space, he has taught as professor of strategy and led institution in the role of dean, vice chancellor, and director at multiple educational institutions. As a freelancer and entrepreneur, he has advised, co-founded, and has been a director in multiple startups in areas of education and agriculture markets. He has taught at executive education at various IIMs and reputed national institutes, and is fond of using simulations, experimental learning. As a prolific and impactful motivational speaker, he often speaks at webinars, talks, and keynotes. His belief is if you are making things simple, anybody can learn. He has been using MS Excel right since its launch in 1990, isn't it, sir?
Yeah. I remember.
So who better than him to take us through a journey of MS Excel? Dr. Sharma is currently serving as Director General at Taxila Business School, Jaipur.
Thank you, Sachin. That was very generous. I do remember we used to use IBM spreadsheets before MS Excel had come in. And I had actually started the predecessor of Excel for 2 more years, right, since 1989. And in late 90s, when MS Excel was launched, it was a very popular, it just instantly became very popular, and I have been using that since then. So I'm happy to traverse that journey. And I'm also happy now to introduce my co-host for the day, Dr. Sachin Sharma. With 16 years of hands-on teaching and industry experience, his knowledge in the field of mathematics, machine learning models is both vast and immense. He's a PhD, MTech, BTech in computer science engineering with hands-on experience in a number of business analytics and data analytics tools. He's an expert on MS Excel and other office tools, and you will discover it in the next 3 days as we take you through the exciting journey of Excel. Now, as we have seen over the past also that the number of participants cut across all sections, those who are at the beginner stage and those who are at a later learning stage. I don't think this session is meant for experts in Excel, but then nevertheless, when we are going through an exercise, interesting things come out. And so we hope that all of you will be able to derive a lot of learning from these 3 sessions as we go in the next 3 days. So when you see MS Excel as a very powerful tool, it has everyday applications across business as well as household. If you look at, we just tried to put some of the everyday uses together. You can put an endless list over here: business budget forecasting, plan projections, performance analysis to make charts beautiful, pie charts and
pie charts, bar charts,
right,
histograms,
bank transactions, how many credits, how much loans. There are thousands of customers and millions of transactions. How can you ever remember it? You need a tool to manage all of that, like an Excel. Student admissions, at colleges, and after students take admission, the college administration, the thousands of students, and multiplied by number of subjects, and then so many terms and semesters. Where do you arrange for and manage all of that? Excel. Shop. If you go to a shop, accounting, billing, payments, every shop might be keeping maybe hundreds and thousands of unique items where you need to know when is the item finishing, who has bought it, how much has gone, when will the next shipment arrive, all of that, you just cannot remember. You need an Excel. Inventory, material receipts, issues in marketing, customers, how do they buy, when do they buy, all of that. How do you analyze that?
Even small shopkeepers use Excel to manage all these records and to order what is expected to.
Very true. Very. In fact, even the tools that they use, there is an Excel behind those tools.
Yes.
So the tool might give you an access to a sheet or something where you can do something, enter some data or anything. But at the back end, all of that data is going into an Excel and getting analyzed over there. Government recruitments, large recruitment exercises. How do you keep track of lakhs of people and applications? When you go to a shop floor, machine operations and breakdowns, and you know how much was the productivity of specific machines, all of that you need an Excel. Household budget, personal loans. You know, I have given you a loan, you have given him a loan. You know, how do I keep track of all those loans? You know, where does my money come from? Where does my money go? I'm interested in that.
And
I use a lot of
As far as this household budget is concerned, the milkman keeping record of how much milk he is delivering, and the housewife also used to keep all
the gas cylinders and all marking. All right. Yeah, so anything and everything that has to do, there are ways and means to do physically, but when the data size becomes large, you need a tool to process all of that, and that is where Excel's role comes in. You know, personal time and task management. The list can actually endless. You know, and if you look at it or from the company perspective, you know, let's say if there are people at the end of it, everybody wants to productively use their career somewhere, right? They want to work for either the government or private sector companies. If we look at the market today, more than 95% of all the jobs are getting generated in the private sector.
Yes, sir.
Right? The government jobs are going down. And for a private sector, they want the best out of you. I mean, you just can't be the second best. No private sector is there for social service, right? So when they come and interview you, they look for three things. A pleasing personality with good communication skills. That is a definite, I mean, you just can't survive without talking, without communicating properly. Then they look at the knowledge part of it, that, you know, if you are coming to work in marketing department or operations department or accounting and finance, what do you know about that department, that function, that particular sector, and the skills required for those kind of jobs, right? These are the things that you know, you get grounded and polished in an MBA college. We will talk about how do we do that at Taxila in due course of time in the next 3 days. And the last but not the least, the basic computer skills. Without that, there is no survival today. MS Word, you should know how to write in MS Word. You should know Excel. We are not saying advanced Excel, but if you know advanced Excel, it's always better than knowing only basic Excel, right? You should know how to handle PowerPoint, internet. You should know how to use internet. You should know how to email, right? These are most basic things, just like a WhatsApp messaging or anything that you do. Text messaging, you should be knowing the etiquettes of email.
And one more thing, sir, I want to add is this, that these all skills are expected to be there in some candidature implicitly. Means it is expected that a good candidate might be knowing all these skills by default. Means it is expected.
Yes, and when you say good candidate, I underline it, that candidate becomes good because he knows all this.
Yes.
Because she knows all this. It's not without knowing all this. You can be a great communicator. You can be a very smart boy or a girl, but if you do not know Excel and Word, the company will not hire you. 99.9% chances.
Yeah, you cannot say while going to in your boss cabin that you don't know Excel.
Right, right. If you go further, in short, businesses cannot survive without Excel. You cannot survive without Excel. Yes. I cannot survive without Excel. None of us over here, my team, thanks to the team that is helping me out here, nobody can survive without Excel. It's a necessary skill in business.
Not even in business, in life.
In life, it's a best friend.
Yes.
It's a best friend at work.
Yeah,
In
Excel
fact, if you
is a best friend at work.
love it or hate it, but you need it. But you need it.
Yes.
So that's where. So this is what Excel looks like.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can actually work on this in a PPT format. So let's get on to.
Yes, hands-on begins with the real tool, working
Right.
on the real tool
So
itself.
let's get on to the Excel sheet itself. So here is the Excel sheet. What we will do over the next 3 days is a basic introduction, data organizing and handling, formatting, some formulas and how do we analyze that data, and how to draw charts and graphs. In a 3-day, 1.5 hour per day, this is more than what we can consume. But we will have the second edition, we'll have a third edition, we'll have an advanced Excel. All these programs, we will come back to you with more details on these. So let's start with basic. Now, the prerequisite for this is that all of you either have a laptop in front of you, a computer in front of you, or you can put on your mobiles, you can put it on loudspeaker mode and open an Excel sheet in your mobile. If you do practical alongside what we do from here, what we share from here, there will be better learning. Your learning quotient will go high. So I'll give you 1 minute in order to, just in case if some of you do not have that laptop or PC open in front of you, then you can just open it. It's not something, this is an exercise that is not something that can be learned by only listening to.
Yeah, work it and own it.
Yes, you have to work on it. As we do everything that we do here, we'll give a 1 minute or 2 minute time to you to do it yourself. And since, there are so many, more than 300 people are there on this, so we will need to move at a pre-decided pace. So this will be available to you even later. If you want to go step by step, you can do it alongside even after this session. But with the session, with me, if you are on a laptop or on a desktop or even on a mobile or a palm top, if you have that Excel sheet open in front of you, it will work better for you. All right, so let's begin. So how to start with MS Excel? It's a power. It's a power that you have to practice. All the biceps that you make here doesn't become one in a day, right? You got to practice day in and day out. There are certain things that are quickly we can run through because I presume most of you are working with one or the other computing device. You must have handled computer. If you have not handled computer, some of these things may become difficult for you, but I'm sure, 99.9%, I'm sure that all of you have handled computer or ever opened an Excel sheet in any form and worked on that. All right. So we'll start with MS Excel. So the most basic things is to find out a file, an Excel file. So let me create an area here where I will write what I am speaking. I'll show all of these, when we work on one of each one of these functions, you will get to know what I'm talking about. Let me have the writing pad. So what we will do here is, there are two kinds of files which have, for example, program dot XLS.
X. For modern versions.
For modern versions, XLSX. And for the previous versions,
it is XLS.
XLS. Okay. So any file with these extensions .xls or XLSX These are the files. These are the Excel files.
These are the Excel files having
Right.
the extension .xls or xlsx.
All right. Now, starting with opening a saved workbook. If there is a file that is already saved, we will, this is a sheet. I will explain to you anything and everything about this sheet, okay? But let me start with how to open a saved work file. So when you go to Home, there is, at the top, there is a window, top left corner. Almost every computer will have this. There are options, new, open. If you want to open a new file, it will open a new file from here. If you want to open a pre-saved file, it will open from here. And it also gives, these are very, every tool is very intelligent.
Yeah.
It keeps on, helping you at every stage. You might forget something. For example, here,
Recent files.
the recent documents, the 5 recent documents that have been opened in the last maybe 10 days, 15 days, whenever.
But these are the last 5 files that you have opened.
Right. The last 5 files that have been opened. Okay. So I might be able to open a file from here directly. I can select this or this or this. Let's say if I select this.
And if you have changed the file, means if you have saved the file to some other location.
So one thing that I will tell you, that we will commit a lot of mistakes from which you will learn. All of these mistakes, please remember that we are willingly and by design, we are doing these mistakes in order to let you know that what can happen if you get stuck. So here is this file, which is already open in front of us. But if we want to open a new file, again, going to the top left corner, and we say a new file, and a new file, it gives you an option. We want to open a blank workbook. I will say yes, and I can open a new blank workbook. So this is a new blank workbook. This is the starting point of Excel. So is it clear? The 2 things that we talked till now. One is to open a pre-saved file, which you can open from here, or you can open a new file, which is here. I hope you can see my cursor moving, okay? New file and a pre-existing file open, right? You can also do other functions like print and etc., all from here. So let me go back to the file that I was working with. This is my file I was working with. Now, if I have opened a file, or I am opening a new file, a file or a workbook is what is visible in front of you. Then there are worksheets. I will explain to you in a little while from now, okay? So this is a workbook, also called a file, an Excel file with XLS or XLSX extension. So this is the extension that I am talking about. If you look at it at the bottom left, if you see program.xls, this is an extension file. So I might be able to open a new one or a pre-existing. Then I have to save it. Whatever I do, I keep saving it. Yeah. Otherwise, whatever I do, I might lose.
Yeah, suddenly if the power failure happens.
A little while back, that power failure happened. Yeah, if we were working on this, we would have lost that data. Yes. So we have to keep saving the file. Once again, top left corner, if you look at it, there are 2 buttons, save. When we press save, everything that we have done, it is saved. It is already saved at the back end. No message means it has been saved. If there was an error, it would have come. But if I want to save it in a different name,
if you want to create a copy of it,
if I want to create a copy of it, or maybe I have a revised version of it, yes. I have previous version 1, version 2. So let me do one thing. Let me save it for you in a different name. So I save as, it shows me what do you want to save it as. If I write the same name, which was existing prior, it has given me this name, okay? If I use the same name and say save, If you look at it, this is the save button. Okay. If I say save, it will ask, do you want to overwrite it? Do you want to replace it? Whatever was existing prior, I will say yes, no problem. Replace it because I don't want another copy. But if I say no, then I'll have to give a different name. And so I will give a different name, REVD, revised. Okay, so this is my base Excel sheet, which I'm going to work on next 3 days. I will say revised and I will save. It will also ask me, where do you want to save it? If you look at top here, this window, I'm moving this window, okay? And you look at this top here where there is a folder structure. The folder name is Taxila class, within which there is a desktop. In this desktop, I am going to save it with this name, REVD. So this saves as REVD. So it has saved.
So a new copy will be created.
A new copy will be created. The same file has become a new file in a different copy. The name is different. So all is well, opening
and saving.
And saving. Okay. Now let's understand the layout. But before that, I want to tell you the difference between a worksheet and a workbook. So what you are seeing in front of you, the file, the .xls file is a workbook.
Yes, it is a workbook.
It's a file, it's a workbook. And what is a worksheet? If you see bottom here, do you see agenda just below the program? Do you see agenda, basic, spare, quiz, trivia? All these are different worksheets. Okay, so these are different worksheets. I can click on them and reach them directly. Okay, these are worksheets. So there is a workbook and within which there are many worksheets. Then the next thing is in an Excel sheet, there are cells, rows, columns, and range. These are most basic things that we need to understand. So I'm just taking a spare sheet and I'm just identifying a cell here. I've just clicked somewhere. This is my cursor. I can click here. I can click here. So I have clicked here. Okay. This is falling in a column D. Okay. This, let's say, let me highlight this. Okay. So this is falling in column D and this is falling in row number 16. Every cell has an address. And if you look at it, there is a portion here on the top left below the ribbon. There is an address box which says it is D16.
The box gives the address of
this
particular cell.
Right. If I click here on this, the C6. So column 6, column C and row number 6. So every cell has an address. This is most basic. For example, every human being has 2 eyes, most basic, 1 nose, most basic. Similarly, Excel.
Every cell has an address.
Every cell has an address which is defined by a column and a row. And when we write it in this form, it is always written column first and row next. So wherever I click at the bottom right corner here, and this is T25. So there is a T25 here at the bottom right. Okay. So column is T and row number is 25. Okay. So this is column and row. Now there you can select multiple cells. This is one cell. This is one cell. I can select multiple cells like this. What do I have to do? I click at the starting point, keep the left click pressed and drag the mouse. Drag means move the mouse. So I will click here, keep the left click pressed, already pressed. I'm not releasing it and I'm dragging it.
So that's
I'm
how
moving.
selection is made.
That is how a range selection is made. This is a range. This is a cell and this is a range. This is a cell. This is a range. This cell is falling within this range. This cell is not falling within this range.
And while keeping the mouse click, the address reference point will show the range.
They will show the starting point of the range. If you see,
While being clicked, now see 10,
yes,
10
rows and 6 columns.
It is showing the dimensions of this box.
Right. So you have to keep your left mouse button pressed, and you'll be able to see a lot of information from this address button, address bar. Okay. So when I click from this to so many, the full page that I can see here, if you look at it, 22 rows, 7 columns, okay? 23 rows, 9 columns. So I'll just keep on increasing it, 25 rows and 15 columns. So whatever number of rows and columns I want, I can define a range here.
And while you are dragging, you can look into that box and check.
I can check how many rows and columns you have taken. So this is how I can define a range. I can highlight that range like this, okay? I will show all of these, I'll show you how to highlight. These are very easy things to do, okay? Before we go next, now we understand what is a cell, what is a row, what is a column, and what is a range, okay? Now, I also need to understand that when I am worked on this, this might be a private file to me. I want to protect it. Do you know how to protect it?
Yeah. And you also know, sir, and that is why we are here to deliver this. How to protect this?
So I'll just take you to a format button. There is in this ribbon, this is top, this entire thing, the top of the screen, from left to right, whatever number of buttons that you see, this space is called ribbon. I will show you. So inside this file, this entire thing, this is ribbon. This is ribbon inside which there are lots of buttons, there are lots of icons, lots of tabs that you can use to work. So here there is a tab called format, and format, there is a tab called protect. If you look at it, the 7th or 8th under protection, there is a protect sheet. And when I say protect sheet, it asks for what password do you want to give. So next time, if somebody wants to open this Excel sheet, they will need to know the password in order to open this sheet. So I can protect my files. You can protect your files.
Yeah.
I hope you have nothing to protect, Dr. Sachin. But there are a lot of people who just don't want some of their
people
things.
don't want some confidential information might be there in some of the file.
Yeah. So this is how. But there's a question which keeps striking me that what is the size of this file? This looks very large. If I just keep moving my cursor, you look at the columns.
Yes.
Okay. Look at the column.
And the horizontal scroll bar automatically gets smaller in dimension, indicating that you are moving at the right side of the file.
We'll tell you about the scroll bar. So, but if you look at the columns, yes. B, A, B, 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 C, now C series has started. C, A, C, B, C, 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 D.
And D, A, D, B,
it just keeps on going. How many more? How many more?
Is there a shortcut, sir, to find how many columns are there all in all?
That could be a good quiz question.
Yeah.
I will try control and down arrow. Let me try control and down arrow.
Control and
down arrow. Control and down arrow.
Just select a cell. Okay.
Okay. All right.
1048.
1048. So it is 10,48,576 rows. Okay. Column. All right. If you look at the column,
it is
again, I have just control right arrow. This was control down arrow. I'll just write control right arrow. And the last one is XFD. So, all right. If you look at it, here, this means 1048,576 rows and columns, 16,384 columns.
16,384 XFD. If we write in that pattern, A,
yes.
A, B, A, C,
yes.
Then A, B.
Right. Then column width, how many characters can you write in a column? So, okay, so let me highlight this portion once again in order to do what I want to write here. Okay, look at your bottom right screens, okay? In this sheet, this is a blank sheet. If you look at it, this annotations, there is a title bar. So if you see the title bar, the file name will be there in the title. The top, if you see the top line, MS Excel Mini MBA Worksheets Revised.
Yes.
We just renamed that file.
Yes.
So this is the revised Microsoft Excel file. So this is the title bar, okay? There is a quick access toolbar. If you look at top left, there is a save button. You don't have to press this window in order to open or save, okay? In order to save. You can press this, there is a save button. You know, this just by the side of this office button, there is a save button. If you look at it, this is an old photo of a floppy.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you have seen it, but I'm nostalgic about this. I've used it so many times, and destroyed so many of them as well. And they were very sensitive actually.
Yeah.
They were sensitive to heat also.
1.4 MB is the total storage they are offering.
Total storage was 1.4 MB. And 1.4 MB is what? One file size.
Even a single photo from a high resolution mobile phone even cannot fit into 1.4 MB.
Cannot fit into 1.4 MB. So that was the period in 1990s. I'm talking about. This is a photo of that. It says save. When you hover your mouse and keep it stationary on that, it will say save. It is also writing Control+S. So if you press this, then also the file will be saved. And if you press Control, keep pressing Control and press the button S, then also the file will be saved. I'll do that right now. Control+S. It is saved.
A small bar will appear and will vanish when you see this Control+S.
So where is that bar?
Yes.
Okay. If you look at it bottom,
yes, at the
bottom line, this empty line below the worksheets, there is an empty line, starts with ready. Okay. This ready. In this space, when you say Control+S, it will show you for a little while that something is getting saved. Okay. And similarly, when you press save button here, then also that save thing comes. Then there are two more buttons, this undo and redo. I will take this little later on.
I want to add a point over here, sir.
Yes.
Most often, sometimes when some new students are working, I had seen some students struggling with Excel when we teach Excel, and they occasionally press Control+S rather than when they are expected to undo what they have messed up.
Let's do that mistake, na? Let's do that mistake, okay? Let's do that mistake. Let's say I am writing here, Dr. Sachin, you are, okay, so this is spelling is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what I want to do here is, I want to undo. I didn't want to write this. I wanted to write that, Dr. Sachin, you are taking strategy subject, okay? All right. Or you're taking computer science, data analytics. Okay, Dr. Sachin, you are good at data analytics. I have written this. Now there are two options. I can edit this, or I can undo this. Whatever I've written,
or you can save this.
Or if I save this, let's say if I do undo, okay, undo, whatever I have written goes away.
Goes away.
If I say redo, again the same quick access toolbar. There are three buttons here. Save, undo, redo. Okay. When I say redo, it says, Dr. Sachin, you're good. But I want to write something else. By mistake, if I do this and say press S, is save. If I press save, I press save. Now I will not get the undo and redo button. Okay. We are still getting the different. I cannot get the redo button now.
Yeah. Redo button you cannot get.
So Dr. Sachin, you are good at data analytics. I've written it now. Then I will save. Okay. I can undo this again. I can redo this again. and I can save this. All right, this is the function of save, undo, and redo.
Which is the quick access.
Very quick access. You quickly, at times you need to
Because
do
these
quickly.
are the most frequent
Most
operations
frequent.
that one
Right.
requires when,
Right.
while working on Excel
Right.
files.
Then there are home. Again, look at the top of this window, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view. All of these have different functions inside it. And we will take them for the most basic of these sessions. We'll take them one after another, whatever we have decided for these 3 sessions. There's a name box, as I told you, B4, this is the name box, okay, where you can see the cell address, okay. There is a formula bar, if you look at it. So this is ribbon. Above this entire thing, you know, from paste, cut, copy, painter to Calibri, BIU, and the bold, italics, and everything. All of this from left to right, this entire screen, okay, this is called the ribbon, which has got tabs. There are groups. We will take you through that. There's a name box. There's a formula bar. So wherever you see this Dr. Sachin, you are good at data analytics. If you see something in black now, Dr. Sachin, you're good at data analytics. Wherever it is written, this is formula bar. What you write in the cell also is visible.
In the formula bar.
And in the formula bar, it is the same thing is also visible. There is a better use of this formula bar. We will come to that. This entire worksheet has got columns and rows that we have said. Wherever we click is an active cell. It is important to know where is the active cell. Where is your mouse does not mean the active cell is there. I can take my mouse here in this corner, but now that if I click there, that becomes the active cell. What is the active cell now? T17. Okay. If I click here, the active cell is B23. So wherever I have clicked, there is a dark border. There's a dark border that will highlight that cell. So I can, you know, this, let me highlight this with blue. Okay. And you see that this blue is the new active cell now. Okay. So this is an active cell. It's important to understand. Okay. There are scroll bars. Now come to the bottom. You have seen worksheets. Come to the bottom of the screen. Agenda, basic, spare, quiz. All of these are worksheets. Okay. Then there is a scroll. If I press this and take left or right, these sheet scrolls. Okay. And similarly, there's a horizontal scroll also. There's a vertical scroll. This is a vertical scroll. It is going up and down. On the right, extreme right, if you see, there is a scroll, which is, if you press this and take up and down, the sheet will move up and down. Okay. So let's say this is how this sheet will move up and down. This is the vertical scroll. Okay. You can press one button, one after another. If you press this small arrow, there's an arrow at the end of these scrolls. Okay. Left arrow, right arrow, top arrow, bottom arrow. If you scroll these up and down, the entire sheet will move. If you press that single arrow button, one cell will move at a time. See? So I'm pressing it one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Similarly, I will do that for right button also. This is the horizontal scroll, right button, one at a time, one at a time. So one column goes inside, one column goes inside. I will press this one column back. So this is how the scroll button is used. Now I think this is enough for this. Let's have a quiz, and we have already answered these questions, how many rows and columns, okay? Next, we need to get into now, getting into some of the tabs. It's important to formatting ribbon, the tab and the groups. Let's take a spare sheet, okay, and do it there, okay? Okay, now formatting, I'll just delete everything. And this is a blank sheet, right? 0 level blank sheet. If I press A1, it will show me in the formula bar A1, okay? Now, if you look at the ribbon has from left, if I start looking at paste, cut, copy, format painter, each one has a very specific role to play. We will have it. Bold, italics, underline. This is the font Calibri. This is the font size 11. You can increase the font size by pressing this large A. You can reduce the font size by pressing the next. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's quickly do that. And you will find all of that. Let me define an area first, okay? So let me define this area. And, okay. Okay, whatever I write, let's say I'll write Mini MBA, okay? Now this is my cell. How I have made this cell so large, I will tell you. That's very easy. I just select the number of cells and say merge and center. This is again in the ribbon only. Merge and center.
We'll merge all the cells and place the content at the middle, horizontal middle and vertical middle.
Right. So I can actually take it left or right. Let me do that. So this is Calibri. If I, let's say, define Arial black, this will become Arial black. Let me increase the size of this. See, the size is increasing by pressing the A button here, this alphabet, the capital alphabet, which shows actually increasing the size. If I press the right one, which is decreasing size, it will keep decreasing the size. Okay, I can keep a standard size by also defining what is my, the font size. This is currently 36. If I say 48, it will become larger. If I say 72, it will become this much
larger.
Right? So this is how Arial black, I can change, for example, Blackador CTC, ITC, and then let's say Bodoni MT black. Anything that I want, that I can keep the font, the size increase, size decrease. I can make it bold. Okay, let me take you to first Calibri. I can make it bold. So below Calibri, if you see, there is a B button, B, capital B. Okay, that is bold. To make the text bold. Okay, it becomes bold. I can even increase the size of this. I'll say 100. I'll write 100. And if I say press B once again, it is not bold. If I press B once again, it becomes bold. So when you toggle,
it is a toggle button.
Yeah, it's a toggle button. You press next time, the previous operation gets cancelled. Press again, the operation is repeated. Italics. Then there is an I button, italics. See italics? If I press it again, it will become straight. Italics, straight.
And the status of the button will also show you that the text is now bold, in a bold, because B is...
Yeah, B is highlighted.
B is highlighted.
When I say
so
I, right? And this I is highlighted. Okay. It is in, some orange button over there. Underline, I can underline this. See, it has become underlined now. And U is underlined. So when I press it again, the underlining goes. And when I press it again.
And with mouse over it, it is also showing the shortcut menu. When you mouse over it,
Control plus U,
Control plus I, Control plus B.
Control plus I, and then this is Control plus B. So when you want to do bold, select Control B.
Yeah.
Then if you want to do underlining, select the area where you want to underline. Okay, italics. And then say Control I. Keep Control pressed and I. So I can do that. Control, I am doing it from the keyboard now. Control I. See, it has become straight. Then I press again Control I. It has become italics.
Yes, the toggle button.
Right, toggle button. So bold, italics, and underline, and the font sizes. Okay. This is the entire ribbon. There are a lot of these kind of functions that we can do in the entire ribbon. For example, if you look at this, these are formatting. If I press, if you look at what is highlighted, this is in the middle of the, vertical alignment. Okay. If I say top alignment, it goes to the top. I think it will reduce the size to be able to understand it better. See, it has gone to the top. Okay. Let me increase a little bit. Okay. It has gone to the top. If I say press middle button next, it comes in the middle. If I say bottom justified, it comes in the bottom. All three, one after another.
For vertical alignments.
For vertical alignment. There is a horizontal alignment also below that. If I press this, align text left, it goes to the left. If I want in the middle and left, I will say middle and left. Left I have already pressed. So whatever is highlighted over there, that formatting it is already taking. So I can do right justified also. It has gone right, left, middle, top, middle, bottom. Okay, vertical, horizontal. So this is text alignment. Okay, so it's easy to work with Excel because all of these are possible to do at a press of a button.
And one more thing I want to add over here is I saw some of the new students who are adding spaces. So adding space is not recommended. Vertical alignments and horizontal alignment will give you a neat and clean worksheet with all the possible alignments that you might be needing.
So what Dr. Sachin is talking about is, let's say this is a good class. Okay. He wants this to be right aligned. Okay. So when you want to do right aligned, some student will start saying press, say space.
Do not do this.
When you press, keeps pressing space. Okay, let me maybe do it here. Okay, so this is
this.
Okay. So it is visible to everyone. This is a good class. Okay.
Now, if you want to make it right line, press the horizontal alignment right. Not if so. What happens if you use the spaces?
Right. So there are two ways. Some people wrongly do that. If you want to right align this, we'll start with space, and try to go to the right.
And it is also a character. The space is also a character.
That's important, Sachin. Space is also a character. An alphabet is a character. A number is a character. Similarly, a space is a character. So when I say this is a good class, how many characters are there? THIS 4. Then a space 5 is 7, space 8, A9, space 10, good, another 4, 14, space 15, and then 5 from class. 20. That's 20 spaces. Otherwise, you will start saying 16 spaces. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, but space is a character. You have to understand this, and please don't do these mistakes. You know, a lot of people tend to, jahan pe, wherever they want to keep that sentence, they introduce space before that. Don't do that. You don't need to introduce space. Okay. I will just undo whatever I had done. All the spaces that I had put has been undone. I have come back to what I started with, and I will just say right justify.
Yeah. So entire text will move
from the ribbon, right justify. So this is how we use right left justification. That was a good point. The space is a character is a very good point. Okay. Let's go to row and column selection. Let's say if I have to select the whole column, what do I do?
You need to select the whole column. Just click on the column header.
Okay. You mean to say, for example, if this is my space pair, okay, I'll just delete everything here from once again. So if I have to, like for example, if I have to select I, click on I, right? There is a down dark arrow which comes in. When I bring my mouse on the I column, I can select the entire column from here. Similarly, I can select the entire row by clicking on the row number. Again, there is a dark black arrow, fat arrow. When I click this, the entire row will be selected. I can actually do all my stuff in the entire arrow. in the entire row. For example, here, John, Sachin, and for example, Radha. I want to make all these three bold. I want to increase the font size of all these three. Okay.
So complete.
So I have to go there, John. I have to make it bold, and I have to make it. I'm just going at the ribbon. If you look at it, so I am increasing the size of it. Okay. No, but I want to do it for Sachin also and Radha also. That's very difficult. So if I have to do it 3 times.
No, you need not do it 3 times, sir.
So what I will do is I'll select the row, say bold, all will become bold, and similarly, all will become either small size or large size. So look at it. I am increasing the size of it, and I'm decreasing the size of it. All three will become together. That's the power of selecting an entire row and selecting an entire column. Okay, all right. For example, the same thing, John, I can write here, and I want all these three to be right justified. Here, all of them are left justified. So what I will do is I will select the entire column, and then I will say right justified. Or I may even select only those three together, range. Remember?
Yes.
Cell, column, row, range. I will define this range. I will select these three. How do I select these three? I will click on the first and drag the mouse. Drag the mouse. Click and drag. Click and drag. I'll select these three, and then whatever I want to do. For example, right. Okay. For example, increase the size of the font. Or for example, middle, center justified. Okay. All right. So or maybe I font color. Okay, this is a font color.
Everything will be applied on whatever selection you have made.
Right. Or I can fill the cell with colors. If you look at it, again, below A, below this 20, if you look at this area of the ribbon, there is a fill. I can fill the cells with a color. I can choose from the down arrow. I can choose no fill. I can choose any other color fill. For example, here, this color.
And more colors are also there.
More colors. Even the text, if you look at it, text is red right now. I can just press the down button besides the font, and then I can choose blue, I can choose brown, and I can choose black.
So these are the 2 buttons. One is for fill, another is for text color. So
yes, cell filling and text. If you look at this sheet, there is a portion which is yellow. This entire thing yellow is what? I will just select. I'll do the same operation here. I'll just select all of this. I've defined the range, selected everything, and I am going there and pressing this. I select a different color. It has become a different color.
So that is what we call a highlighter.
Highlight. Yeah, this is highlighted. Very good. This is how I want to highlight this entire, any information on a particular sheet. If I want to highlight, I can use different colors to highlight them.
And we will be discussing this in greater detail in conditional formatting.
Oh yes, that's a very important function.
We will be discussing it on the
day 3.
On the day 3.
Yes.
That how conditional formatting can be applied means if you want all false to be filled with red color, all those cells having false value to be filled with red color, you can automatically adjust it.
Or for example, if there is a series of numbers, the scores from 50 to 100,
yes,
anything above 75, please color that cell in a different form.
Yes.
Anything below 75, color that in a different form.
Or the student grades, all those who are well in red.
So that's a very powerful.
That is the power of Excel.
All right. Okay. Now let's go to edit function. Now click and drag, going up and down. You can go up and down by pressing your arrow buttons. Okay. You can click anywhere in this sheet. Okay. Anywhere in this sheet, you can go up by pressing the up arrow button. Okay. You can go right by pressing the right arrow button. If you know where to go, you can just take your mouse and click there. So this is how you navigate. Now let us do this, editing in a cell. Okay, that's important. Sometimes we go wrong in even editing. All right. So let me define a space here. The entire range. I've defined a range. I will say merge and center. Okay. And I will, make the font size large and center. So let's say I'm writing something. Okay. This monsoon has been great. Okay. I want to write here. I've just pressed enter and it is written. Now I don't know where is this gone.
This is gone, and E is also half cut.
Great.
And
what to do here? So we'll click here. Okay. We will reduce the size of the. So I can use both. I can define the number also. 22.
Or this button.
Okay. Or sorry.
Yeah.
So I can actually either use that large button, or I can use this button which reduces the font size one after another. So this monsoon has been great. Reducing. Then somebody said, okay, let me go back there. This was what I had written. Okay. Somebody said you can increase the size of the column. Okay. All right. How to increase the size of the column? So because it is left-hand side and right-hand side, if my thing have got inside there or inside on the right-hand side, I need to increase the size of this space in order to bring all of that to be readable. Okay. So what I can do is increase any column, pick up any, because this is inside a lot of columns. So I can pick up
F, G, H, are all merged.
All are merged together. I can pick up any column. When I go and select the column, you see that this column is selected now. If I have to increase the size of this column, I will bring my cursor between C and D, exactly in the middle of C and D, where the limit of that column ends. Yeah. You will see there is a double-sided arrow which has come.
Yeah, when the double-sided arrow is replaced by this.
Okay, so this arrow is a single down arrow. But when I come in between C and D, it is a double-sided arrow. I will click the left button, keep it pressed, and drag on the right side.
To make the C length.
So see, this is C is becoming larger.
And it is showing the pixels.
And I will now release the button.
Yeah.
I'll release the button. Oh, it is not enough. I'll increase more. Okay. Now it looks like it is enough. This monsoon has been great. So I've increased the size of the column in order to do that. There was another way. I'll bring it back. Again, let me do that undo. So I have done this. I don't want to do this. I want to undo this. I will go top left. Okay. The quick access bar, and I will undo. So it has become smaller as it was. The C column is smaller as it was. The third answer that we got in the chat window was wrap text. If you look at it, the ribbon just above the merge and center, look at the middle of the ribbon. Just above the merge and center, there is a wrap text. Okay, this is a wrap text. So I will just go and press. I will first select किस area को मेरे को wrap text करना है. I will select this area.
Yes. With the area being selected.
You have to select your active cell. Where is that active cell?
All operations will be applicable on that active cell only.
Fantastic. Dr. Sachin said it. You have to understand that if you are in Delhi, you cannot board a Bombay local train.
Yes, you have to be in Bombay.
For that, you have to be in Bombay to board a Bombay local train. Okay. So I have come to this cell. I have selected this cell and I'll say wrap text. Wrap text. See what a beautiful thing happens.
How cool it is. How smartly.
How cool. How smartly. You know what it does? It fits inside.
Automatically. You need not adjust anything.
Right. Here, now you can keep on further increasing the size, maybe 72. It will still, what has happened now? Now this is a problem. You have increased the size of the font so much that even this space is not good enough. Yeah. So now you have to increase the space. So maybe I will take a larger space and merge center here. See? I have defined a large range and then I have got my thing right in the middle. So this is the power of wrap text. Okay. Okay, there are 4 participants who have raised hand. Okay, Sani, you did say reduce font. That was also an option. But let's say if I want to keep that font at the same size, but I still want all of that to be visible, then we can use wrap text. Yes, you are right. Increase the size of the column, reduce the size of the font, or use wrap text. All these 3 are possible to be done in this case. Okay. Wrap text, okay. A lot of wrap text have come. Definitely, that's a very participative class. I'm happy about that.
Yes, yes. Class participation is very good.
Very good. What next we can go with? Working with fonts, we have done. Working with dates, okay. So, but we did that edit. We need to work on that edit. Yeah. So now, yeah, in this cell. So let us say this is one cell, okay. I am somewhere outside. Now I have to go and, the rains in this monsoon has been great. Or let's say, Jaipur is a beautiful pink city. Rather than writing this monsoon has been great, I would want to write Jaipur is a beautiful pink city. I'll go there. There are 2 ways in which I can edit this. I start writing Jaipur is a beautiful
city,
pink city.
But it has erased everything.
It has erased. Where is that gone, Monsoon?
Because the new text has replaced the previous text, which was already there.
Right. So this is what is called being on the cell.
On the cell.
There's a difference between being on the cell and in the cell. What is on the cell is when I am on the cell, I just click and select that cell and start writing whatever I want to write. Okay. So Jaipur again. Oh, what happened? The last one is gone.
The last one is also gone. Right. You are on the...
Because I'm on the cell. Whatever I'm writing, it will erase everything from what was written.
Replacing whatever the previous content of the cell was.
Right. So I will do undo. Okay. Jaipur is a beautiful pink city. All right.
Which is also the capital of Rajasthan.
Right. Now I want to write here, which is also the capital of Rajasthan. So I will select where I want to write. I have to select active cell.
Active cell, you need to select.
Being in Delhi, you cannot board a Bombay local train. So I will select this and I want to write it, which is also a capital of Rajasthan. I'll write, which is,
again, the same mistake is repeated.
So I want to repeat that mistake in order to get it very clear in your minds. I was on the cell. To edit something inside the cell, I have to get inside the cell.
Yes. And okay. How to get inside is
to purchase, to be able to go on a metro, right? You have to get inside the metro station first.
Yeah.
Purchase the ticket. Okay. Then only you can travel in a metro.
Yeah, of course.
These days you can buy on the mobile phones also, but that's fine. To do anything, I have to get inside the cell. What I will do is, I will go on the cell and double click it anywhere. So I have double clicked it. So now I am inside the cell.
Yes.
My cursor is somewhere near pink.
Yes.
So I'll bring the cursor after city. Okay. And then write, which is also the capital of Rajasthan.
Yeah.
And see, I want all of that. R should be capital. So again, bring back the cursor on R, delete it and make it capital. And I want all of them to be seen together. So I will reduce the font size. Jaipur is a beautiful pink city, which is also the capital of Rajasthan.
Sir, is there a keyboard shortcut to do this, getting inside the cell?
I think there was some functional key somewhere.
Yeah.
What is that? F2?
Yes.
All right.
Of course, F2 is the key.
On your keyboard, that's a good point, Sachin. Yeah. Otherwise, I would not have remembered this. Thanks for that. If you look at the keyboard on this keyboard, the top row are, some of them are 12 functional keys. They are written F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, all of those. There is in Excel, there is a function defined for each function key. To edit a cell, the function is defined in F2. You can go there, okay, and press F2. I am inside the cell. At the end of the sentence, the cursor is at the end of the sentence after Rajasthan. So I will put a full stop there, okay? Or maybe I'll go back and capital of Dhorari Dharti, Rajasthan.
Yeah, of course, Dhorari Dharti.
Dhorari Dharti, Rajasthan. Dhora is what? Retile. I mean the sand dunes.
Sand dunes.
Right. All right. Okay. So F2 is how, again, how to use F2? I will click on the cell where I want to make the edit. And then press F2. I am inside the cell now. If I was not inside the cell and if I wanted to write good morning,
it will replace everything which was already there, previously there.
Exactly, that's what happens. Okay, so I just pressed escape. You know, there is another way to come back, but I will not confuse you. All right, so we have done with, you know, being on a cell and in a cell. Okay, you can edit the entire row, you can edit the entire column. Okay, working with fonts we have done, working with dates. Let's go to dates. Again, go to that spare sheet. Okay, let's define a date here. How do I write a date?
Just write, say, 19th of August, and it will, Excel will automatically take it.
19th of AUGST 2021. Oh, I had to write so much.
Press enter.
Press enter, and it is taking. This is a format.
This is a format which Excel has by default converted it into. Excel has already analyzed that it is a date what you have written, and it has put it in this format that it is a date 19th, only 3 letters representing the month, and not 2021, only 21. So this is by default, the Excel is taking the date as it is.
All right. So this is, we are already approaching 12:30. We will provide for a few questions so that we will, you know, take 5-10 more minutes. So we will take this as the last format function, and then we will take the rest in the next class. So let me say, this is good for me, 19 August 21, but I don't want August written there. I want 19/08/21.
So you have to go into the formats.
All right. So I can format this. Okay, well, first let me increase the size so that, you know, it's visible what is the formatting I'm doing. So for formatting here, I will press right click.
Yeah.
Okay, right click inside the cell. Inside the cell, I'm doing right click. There is a place called format cells. I will press format cells, and then I have to decide what is it I'm formatting. So if you see, there are categories: general, number, currency, accounting. I will select date.
Yeah.
Now you see there are different formats, the types on the right hand side. This is English Western. There are different types. I can select this type. Okay, this is what I want.
Yeah, this is what is practiced in most of the letters, correspondences.
Right, and you use all the numbers, right, rather than alphabets. So I will use this format and say, okay. I will say, okay, and see what happens. So 19/08/2020.
Without ambiguity in DD, MM, YYYY format.
Right, DD, MM, YYYY. I can also do DD, MM, YY. Usually that is also format. So I again right click. MMYY, where is that? Over
just below it.
Just below this. This is DDMMYY. You have to understand, a little bit of intelligence is also required, that 14/03/01 would be some kind of date, month, and year. Okay, if you write this 19/08/21. So this is how date formatting. It's important to understand this because you use this for a lot of other things that you do with the date function in the future.
Yeah.
Remember that Dr. Sachin Sharma, he has done for 20 years, he has been doing computers, data analytics. For 20 years, he's been teaching. He has had industry experience as well. He is your teacher at Taxila Business School. Thank you very much.